I was in awe of it because listen, after the World Cup, we after the finale of a final, was thinking, okay, what has the Premier League got in store for us? So the Carabao Cup was like a little test run, wasn't it? Most of the teams that played in it done well, the ones that I expected to do well, and then you got obviously the the Man City game. Wow, Man City Liverpool game, I should say, and then you see the class of the De Bruynes, the class of the Haaland, Salahs, and it was just, I was so happy to see it back, like, because that's what's in store for the rest of the season, because those two set the bars. Man City set the bar. Liverpool brought it back because, like, when you look at Liverpool, you was thinking, are they gonna fold here? But they gave him a good game, and you know what? When you look at Klopp, he was graceful in defeat as well. I was really happy with him. So usually if he loses a game, there's all sorts of excuses, but I think he took the defeat well. So I was really happy with what I saw, and then what happened during the game, because De Bruyne was majestic. Haaland's back on that goal trail, and you're going to see a great cracker second half of the season, isn't we, for the Premier League? It's going to be brilliant.
I'm glad that we saw that version of Kevin De Bruyne last night, got to be honest, mate. I thought we'd lost him for a bit. He was a shadow of himself in the World Cup, wasn't he?
He had no faith in his team, though. Like, look, I'll keep on saying it. He put his team down before they had one of the biggest games of their tournament, saying they're all old.
We're rubbish, we're old, we're not winning nothing. We're going home in 3 days.
It's like he wanted to get back to business, didn't he? He couldn't wait to get away from the World Cup. He just thought, we ain't winning this, let's go home. While we're here, you lot are old, mate. You lot are old, stinking old. But it's listen, at the end of the day, it's good to see him back doing his thing, and he was majestic.
Yeah. Do you know something? We could loosely have an award ceremony on the show this evening, and I'd love people that are listening to us tonight, the stuff that we talk about, do contribute to it. 03717 223344. As you look at the calendar year, the last 12 months, and listen, if people want to open this up and they want to take this abroad and take it into different leagues, you're more than welcome to do so. Of course, people will mention Messi, they'll mention the Ballon d'Or winner in Karim Benzema, and various others that they've seen on the continent, people like Jude Bellingham and what have you. But for me, the best player that I've seen over the last 12 months is the guy that you're talking about right now, Kevin De Bruyne. I think he were absolutely fantastic at the back end of the season. For Manchester City to seal the Premier League. Obviously, they missed out in that Champions League semi-final, and he started the season absolutely brilliantly, and we saw glimpses of that last night. And you could probably bring Haaland into the conversation, but I personally only properly paid full attention to Haaland since he's been in the Premier League. So for the last 5 months or so, I know he was brilliant for Dortmund and brilliant in the Champions League, and I've seen him plenty of times in the Champions League. But having watched Kevin De Bruyne for 12 months consecutively in the Premier League, I personally think that he has been the best player of 2022. What say you?
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely up there with that. Obviously, Haaland is 24 goals in how many games? 21, 22 games? It's ridiculous. And then you got, even his international career has been brilliant. 21 goals in 23 games. Like, he's such a total football striker. For me, because obviously I like strikers. But when you look at De Bruyne, I like the service that De Bruyne gives. He doesn't have to do it. He got to do 2 movements as a striker, and he gets in, and all you got to do is finish, and that's what Haaland can do. So those two together, plus the other players, it just makes a great watch and a great team, and they must be buzzing when you see De Bruyne on that field, and you know that you're gonna get. All you got to do is get on the far post, or you run across the first man, little flick on, goal. On your toes, in the box, on the move, he's going to find you in different areas of the box. He's just so good. The way he whips in the ball, it's just majestic, mate. And he's definitely up there for probably player of the year.
Who's been your biggest disappointment this year?
Ooh, disappointment?
Yeah.
Well, you talk about disappointments. What do you mean? For me, my biggest disappointment is the way I'd say Cristiano hasn't
Mate,
fulfilled.
Right,
yeah, because do you know why I say that? Because
just his attitude. His attitude.
It's just
the last
the attitude.
Couple of months, man.
You'd say the attitude, the way it ended for him. Like, I don't want to see a world class, a world renowned player of that ilk go out like that, man. That was really disappointing for me. And yeah, listen, you can say anything you want. Like, yeah, he had a bad attitude, but even the way he was treated at the end as well. The way he was treated, I don't think
the whole circumstance.
That is just a disappointment for me. That whole scenario. So that's just coming off the top of my head. I
think you're right. I think a lot of people will look at that, and obviously, whether you're a fan or not a fan, you can absolutely hold Cristiano Ronaldo in high regard for all the things that he's done throughout the course of his year. I don't even think the biggest Cristiano Ronaldo hater would have wanted it to end the way that it's ended. They'd have wanted to see him show a bit of class, and fully kind of accept where he currently stands in world football. He's been brilliant. He's been absolutely brilliant. He just felt like a guy that was struggling to come to terms with it coming to an end. I mean, we've just heard today, haven't we, that he signed a 7-year deal. I know that the majority of this is as an ambassador in order to bring the World Cup to a certain area of the world. But the next 2.5 years, he's signed as a footballer. He'll be playing his football in the Middle East. Oh, listen, fair play to him. You know, if you want to go make that type of dough, go make that type of dough. That's fine.
How much is it, by the way?
Mate, it's ridiculous. Isn't
127 million a year.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. Like I said, fair play.
What is that? But I didn't even know that was actually a figure.
Mate.
I don't even know, man. It's like he's going to make what? In that whole contract, what is he going to make? 1.2 billion?
Yeah, mate.
He's generating
more money than... Mate, he's generating more money than some small countries, mate. It's ridiculous what he's doing. I genuinely think, though, that he could still have done a job at Manchester United or in the Premier League. And it's a shame that we won't get to see that, it ended this way.
The reason why he won't do a job anywhere in the Premier League is because he feels he needs to be starting every game still.
Yeah,
so
which is not the case. Man.
Not the case. So I would have loved to see him probably go, okay, it didn't work out for him at Man United. Arsenal need a striker now, from now until Gabriel Jesus is back. If he could accept that he's not the player he once was, although he scored 24 goals last season, but you can't build a team for the future around him. So he just needs to accept that. And if he can accept that, then he'll be a great acquisition for any football club in the Premier League and around the world. But he just doesn't want to accept that role. So he has to go and do what he needs to do.
The Sports Bar Weekender, decisive football radio. Friday nights from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.